All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it is in the cosmos. And this video is finding you there. Welcome to Kai Chi Alchemy. You can call me Katchi. This is a space of love, y'all. Welcome or welcome back. I want to thank y'all for showing up. Thank you for co-creating community with us. Thank you for all of that engagement, all the likes and the shares and the subscribes and the things. For doing all of the things. It really helps this channel to grow and to help more people. Make some space here for y'all. So, happy Leo season, everybody. Let's do a Leo reading. I am going to light this solar plexus chakra candle here. Bergamot, and the lime, and the grapefruit. Wonderful. All right. So, I'm going to make a little bit of space here because this was totally spur of the moment and unprepared to a degree, but sometimes Leo's like that, huh? Sometimes they're fun and spontaneous and childlike and things of this nature, right? That's what they say, something like that. I think that I really feel called to pick one of these archetype cards for us before we get started on tarot. So let's open with that. Let me make sure I've got everything in the deck here. How are y'all doing today? And where are you tuning in from, if I may ask? There we go. That should be all of them. Freya, Folly, Michael, Mary, please be here with me now. Please allow me to channel messages in alignment with this collective's greatest and highest good, balanced with that of the collective at large, the general collective at large. Please allow their messages to come through free of any deceptions, delusions, or distortions that may be out there. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please allow me to see. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Can I remember how to shuffle this circular deck? It's been a minute. Okay, there we go. Hello, welcome in. Where are you tuning in from today? Leo, 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 Leo. All right. We have the ring on the bottom of the deck here. And then we have the heart and the box. Isn't there like a song or an album or something called The Heart-Shaped Box? Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to look it up later because that's very interesting to me. And Leo is all about the heart. Leo is associated with the heart and like the upper back, and that's like the sun in your chest. It's like your inner child energy. And so sometimes I'll like feel when we have really intense Leo transits going on, this like strengthening or tension or shifting or like some sensation in the upper back, in the heart space. So while we do our one breath meditation today, I'll have you especially tap into that energy, into your heart space, into that upper back area, into that Leo energy within you. Whatever placements you happen to have in your chart, whether it's sun or moon or Venus or rising or Mars or you're cross watching or anything else for that matter. I'm gonna have you take one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, close your eyes. You take a deep breath into your belly first before filling up your chest, and pause at the top for a moment if you'd like. We also have here the gem, very, very Leo. You sparkle, you sparkle. I'm gonna leave all these out on the table and see what connections they end up having to the rest of the tarot cards that we pull for y'all. And then we got the mystic. That's interesting. Because that's not generally the kind of energy I associate with Leo or even the Leo-Aquarius axis. So you may have some type of like scorpionic placements in your chart. I'm trying to think of what else that would be. But yeah, really, Scorpio is the mystic, the shaman. That's the main one. Or you may just carry a lot of Scorpio-like energy in general. Speaking of which, we have here the Venom. And the temple with the creator. The creator's temple. The creator needs a temple. What is the creator's temple? The creator is spirit. The creator is higher mind, right? Uppercase mind. And that consciousness needs a place to live in your heart, in your body, in your bloodstream. This is Kai Chi Alchemy. Kai is the temple. Kai is the ocean. Kai is the container. Kai is the chalice. Kai is your mother, is your body. And the creator is your chi, is your mind, is your generative energy that can alchemize and transmute extremely different energies, you know what I mean? Hey, what's going on? This is a tarot and divination channel indeed. Where are you guys tuning in from today? And then last but not least, we have the riddle, which I find very interesting because we got a whole bunch of cards with a whole bunch of like very vague, nebulous connections that may shift and change and evolve as we move through the reading. We'll see. But there's definitely an element of this, the riddle energy for some of y'all. Okay. Let's start with some cartomancy. I know it's not like the most visual, but sometimes, I mean, we want to get clarity, right? So let's see if this helps with that. Spirit, what does this Leo collective here need to hear, see, feel, experience at this time, or whatever time they're finding it. It is early Leo season right now, like Cancer, Leo, Cosby time. So that may possibly have some relevance to you, even if you're not watching this live as in real time, you know. Could I please get like a general past, present, and future energy on this Leo collective that we're channeling here today? Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh boy, let me fix that. I bent that card a little bit because I've never had that happen where it just was not coming out and then I closed my eyes and they immediately flew out. Maybe you need to loosen your grip and stop focusing so hard on something. You need to, you know what they say about like softening your gaze? You might be able to see a little bit better if you stop straining, right? Okay, I asked for 3 and we got 2, so unless I dropped something somewhere, let me get 1 more. Can I have a card for this future position for this Leo collective? Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. In the deck, like with the poker cards and all of that, what would the Joker be related to? Because hearts are cups, right? But what is the Joker? What is the Joker cup? And in the present position, we have Queen of Cups. Joker of Cups. That's what I'm just going to call it for now. And it's kind of interesting because, like, I don't know that much about cartomancy, and I'm still learning. And so you may have, like, been in an area where you, like, didn't know the lay of the land exactly, or a situation where you just kind of had to, like, play it by ear, go with the flow, just kind of fake it till you make it. And then you were like, wait, this doesn't make sense. And it's heart, so it's something emotional. Joker. It's like somebody was playing with your emotions. Somebody was making light of your pain. Somebody was taking heavy things lightly when it came to you, but taking light things or heavy things extremely heavy for themselves. Right, it's like a distortion. The Joker is on a totally different level than the King and the Queen. Like, he can do and say stuff that proper high society people would never get away with. They're encouraged, you know? Sometimes the Joker even, like, does the satire thing, like makes fun of the king or the queen or somebody important, right? And so that's something they agree upon ahead of time for a reason, for a purpose. But I'm kind of getting the sense that that's like you didn't see this person as a Joker. You didn't even know that you could have a Joker of Hearts. You didn't even know that was a thing to look for. You know what I mean? So that was the situation you were dealing with in the past, was not just this Joker person, but like the emotions but this person that like didn't take you seriously or took themselves too seriously or was like playing by different rules of engagement than what was like commonly accepted and known in that area. Hello. If anybody would like me to pull a couple of cards specifically for you, if you have any Leo placements and this message is resonating with you today, I will go through the chat and get some cards for specific individuals at the end here if you would like. But right now we're just reading on the general Leo collective energy. Whoa! Okay, remember I said I was shuffling forever, nothing came out, and then I closed my eyes and immediately a card came out. I think there's a message there, because it happened again. Okay, and this is 5 of Spades. Spades would be equivalent to the air suit. Okay, so this is 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords. Oh, isn't 5 of Swords like a card of competition? Well, that's fun. Let's get a little more detail on this, because if we started with the Joker of Hearts in the past, and we talked a little bit about what that energy might have looked like for you, I think this Queen of Cups, she's very intuitive. She's very emotionally tapped in. It doesn't really, she'll listen to what you say, because she's like emotionally intelligent. She's kind usually, but it's like she can smell the bullshit. She's gonna listen to your words and be kind to you, but she's gonna then go off of her intuition, you know? And so I think that you had a moment where you decided that you needed to trust yourself and be emotionally responsible for yourself by kind of getting yourself away from this Joker of Hearts energy that was causing so much pain and confusion for you, so you could get somewhere where you could start clearing your head, you know? So that's where you're at right now, is you are clearing your head. So in the past you had a really like dynamically like covert, confusing, manipulative or abusive or just like this icky energy with somebody. And it was very emotional. But as you like center and ground down, you're gonna find yourself rested and recovered and ready to move from your heart into your head. Okay, so if this is competition in relation to words, communication, this is like maybe even people throwing competitive energy your way with their words. Like negging and like it might not be secret competition, right? This might be a little bit less covert and hidden and a little more in your face, which I feel like without this past circumstance, you wouldn't have the perspective to appreciate somebody that'll just stab you right to the face, as opposed to somebody who will stab you in the back with no warning, right? Have a good day, Shaloo, Shaloo. All right, so let's get a little bit of clarification here with the light spheres, because I just feel that we need some light here. That was a little discouraging, although I'm sure that there is a meaning here. I was also channeling this message of this energy of like the different kinds of Leo energy and how they express themselves. And this archetype that has expressed itself in like my own personal relationships and experiences I've had and seen people in, but also have you ever seen the show Skins, the like British drama-y thing about young kids behaving badly, as my mother once summarized it? In that show, in one of the more recent seasons, maybe the most recent season of it, there's a character named Frankie, and Frankie ends up meeting this boy, and they hit it off really fast, and she's really excited about this relationship. She's going through a lot of big challenges in her life, and through his influence, she ends up joining this fight club. And at first, she's like so over the top, excited, over the moon, like, I found my people, I found my place, I'm so happy to be here. And she's having fun with it. And then the darker aspects of what's going on beneath the hood of their relationship, of the dynamics of the people in the fight club, like, they didn't do any inner work to figure out where that's coming from. It wasn't just a rage room with intention. It was a way of like letting your deeper energies express themselves, but then not excavating or analyzing or understanding anything on a deeper level. Just letting them fester, letting them get worse, really. Letting yourself feel better, but it's actually getting worse. Leo has fire inside of it. Leo has so much energy and expression that needs to come out. And if it doesn't, if you repress it, it gets ugly and weird. It turns into funky ego. It turns into weird coping mechanisms. So in that season, in that show with Frankie, this boy and her go home after the fight club, and they're having this connected moment, and they're together, and they're kissing, and they're on her bed, and then all of a sudden, he gets this like trigger of like, this is too much closeness, this is too much connection, this is too much authenticity, this is too much realness, I don't feel safe. But obviously he's not thinking any of that consciously because they're avoiding all of that shit. And so he has this moment, he doesn't acknowledge it, he doesn't say anything to her, she doesn't understand what's happening, none of this. He just flips like a switch. Like he was having fun, he was in a playful moment, and then that trigger happens and his eyes glazed over and he put his hand on her head and he had sex with her like a bag of potatoes. And it was this feeling of like, we're doing this thing, we're in this energy, this is this energy that we're participating in together, we're connected, we're, you know? And then all of a sudden, it's basically like manufactured consent. It's even worse than that, really. It's like he wanted to humiliate her and use her, but he didn't even acknowledge that to himself. It's like he repressed his own darker emotions and thoughts and feelings and desires and drives, didn't explore them, but then just allowed himself to do and say and express however he wanted to. And through that experience, he totally traumatized this girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, this reminds me so much of the experience that I've had with my sister and with my ex. Both of my exes, honestly, where there's this experience that you're having together. And it's on these certain terms. You think you understand the rules of engagement. You think you understand what's going on. You think you understand, but then you're like, what is a Joker of Hearts? Where am I? Who are you? What's happening here? Like, we're on this one level. And then you flip. And it's like, as soon as you realize that you can't get what you want out of me, it's like I'm not there. It's like they looked through me. They didn't put my hand on top of my head and have sex with me like a bag of potatoes, but they were behaving one way. I wasn't giving them what they wanted. They didn't acknowledge the stuff going on psychosomatic, like psychologically within themselves. They didn't get into any of that. And they just flipped and they started looking through me like I wasn't there. People I had given time and attention and resources to for years, people that I thought I had a relationship with. But I realized in retrospect I was giving a lot, and they weren't taking effort to give a lot. They weren't even taking effort to really dig into all the darkness that was driving their behavior. They just kind of played it on the surface. They played this fun surface level game. And then all of a sudden, they're like, oh, I'm not getting what I want out of this energy. What is that? The actor, the clown, the narcissist. Yeah, they were acting. And I felt that they were acting, but I didn't want to believe they were acting, and I wanted to take them at their word. And so I kept letting them tell me, you're wrong, the way you feel is wrong. And I was like, well, maybe, I hope so. I hope so. But then I realized it took so little, the tiniest boundary, the tiniest not giving you exactly what you wanted. And you start to treat me like a bag of potatoes, and you realize there was never connection here. There was never authenticity here. It was always a game. It was always an act. It was an act with intent to manipulate. It may not even be conscious, but there's something in there where there is intention to put on an act and receive what you want. And so as soon as they didn't receive what they wanted from me, my sister, who I had spent 2 decades pouring into, absolutely irregardless of her behavior, absolutely irregardless of like how I felt about her, I was like, you are my family and you need help and I'm going to help you. But then when I refused to step exactly how she asked me to step because it did not align with my values and my conscience, she started to look through me like a ghost, like a worthless bag of potatoes. A bag of potatoes would be worth more. And the same thing happened with my ex. When I said, I cannot participate in what you're choosing to do right now. I don't want to control you. I understand where you're coming from. I encourage you to do what you need to do. But it does not align with my conscience to move forward with you in this way with these options that you have allowed me. So I have to step away. It was not an attack. It was not me turning away from them. It was just me setting a boundary, turning towards myself, saying, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is what my conscience is, this is what my values are. And that's all it took for them to look at me, say, I'm not gonna get what I want, and start looking through me like a ghost. People I had invested years in, thousands of dollars in, I had made so many sacrifices to try to meet them in the middle, and I realized they didn't even appreciate it. They were just doing and saying whatever they had to say to get what they were after. And Leo wants to get what they're after, but Leo wants to get what they're after from a place of this is who I am, genuinely. This is what I value, genuinely. And you can take it or leave it. And I'm confident in it. And I don't need anything from you. I will shine all over you if you want me to, if you'll allow me to. Or if not, I'll go over somewhere else and I'll shine over there. But a Leo energy in a negative manifestation is the narcissist, the clown, the actor. Their sociability, their fun, their levity, their connection has nothing to do with authentically connecting soul to soul. It has everything to do with their egos, drives, and desires right in the driver's seat, driving their subconscious and driving their actions. And so their conscious mind is not in the driver's seat. They are not responsible for their actions in their mind. It just happened to them. It just happened to them, but it was an act. You just became an actor. And I know this is a Leo collective reading. I have some Leo placements as well. Like, I'm not admonishing Leos. I'm just saying it's very important to look at this energy that we carry, because it can be overblown from this beautiful, authentic inner child expression, this soul to soul connection, this I'm gonna shine all over you, but I don't need your validation. I just love myself, and take it or leave it, take it or leave it. I'm so busy loving myself, I don't even have time to notice who is attacking me, who is trying to manipulate me. I don't even need to spend all this time grounding myself down, because I always do what's best for me. And that sounds real selfish and dark and nasty, right? But no. It's actually, Leo's in that energy in a healthy position. They teach every other person, every other sign, such a valuable medicine, such a valuable lesson. There is nothing wrong with loving yourself on that level, but the problem comes when we confuse our soul and our ego. And we don't want to kill our ego. Like, we want to be friends with our ego, but we don't want it sitting in the driver's seat within our subconscious driving our actions. We want to be fully connected to our souls, fully self-expressed, our higher level Leo expression consciously sitting in the driver's seat, so that we can take accountability, so that people can hold us accountable. But if you are moving and taking action from that subconscious fear space of not getting this attention, not getting this approval, not getting this love, and you begin to become an actor without even being fully consciously aware of what you're doing, you just get so like disassociated and so like tuned in. It's like you're putting up walls in your own mind of compartmentalization, and it makes you go crazy. It turns you into a Joker of Hearts, whatever the heck that is. So, be you and help people. Help people to learn how to do the same. Because it's true, there's a reason that Leos get a bad rap. When it gets dark, it gets real freaking dark. Kind of like Scorpio. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. And I think you're ready to be all. You were really drained by this Joker situation. Joker of Hearts. But you're gaining your emotional equilibrium back. You're gaining your intuition back. You're looking at the past. You're looking at the past at this Joker, and this Joker's looking away. If you don't see me, I don't exist, right? Like a child. If you don't call me out, there's nothing wrong. Like a child. And Leo is the child. But we don't want that kind. Not in an adult body. No. No, no, no. Can I get a clarifier on the judgment in the future position, please? And thank you, thank you, thank you. Can I get another clarifier? Please, and thank you, thank you, thank you for this Leo collective. Oh, wow. Holy heck. Okay. Can I get a clarifier on the star and the tower in the future position? or the present position, rather. Excuse me. Ah. Okay. In the past, we have the Five of Pentacles. What is that reading? A confidential conversation, maybe? I'll have to look it up. But there's a whole reading I did basically off of this card about how this girl is crying because there's this big door right here, this little keyhole, and she has a key, but this key doesn't fit in this lock, and she is so upset because everybody's telling her, go through this door, you use your key to get through this door, and she's like, my key doesn't open this door, what are you talking about? And that very much aligns with this Joker of Hearts energy. My key doesn't open this. What is happening? I don't understand the rules. What people told me, how this operates, it's not how it's operating. But nobody's actually willing to tell me how it is operating. I don't even think they know how it's operating. Their brain's all compartmentalized. They're not even consciously aware of anything. What the heck is happening? So you were just in a lot of pain in the past. You felt left out in the cold. You felt distraught, like there was nothing you could do about it. Because you didn't even understand what was happening. And the thing is, you realized you had to leave, but you might never understand what was happening. There is no making sense of it. There was no sense to it. And that's what was driving you crazy. You were trying to make sense of something that did not make sense. So with the Queen of Cups in the present position, we got the Star, the Tower, and the Ten of Pentacles. I love this Tower card. It's the best. Got a little squirrel here looking up there at the tree, getting knocked down. I'm like, what the heck? Oh, no. But, you know, the tree is like an OG tower. That's the first symbolism that ever came together with tower energy, was when there was a storm and the tree got knocked over. I was watching some video about this black farmer that grows alpaca fertilizer and stuff, and she was talking about whenever people ask her what her greatest fear of living alone in the woods in a cabin with her kids is, she's like, none of the stuff you'd expect. My greatest fear is trees. Because they do that. They fall down. You know, like in the Amazon, the Brazil nut trees and stuff, or like the coconuts in places, they can just fall on your head and like end you. You have to be so aware. So, yes, trees grow really tall. They last a long time. But eventually they get knocked down. Towers are meant to get knocked down. They'll get knocked down sooner if their foundations are rotted. But, you know, let's see. Is this foundation rotted? No, that's why it took so long. That's why you were stuck in this limbo. Because it was fairly healthy. It was a fairly healthy tree. Was it? Was it a fairly healthy tree? Why did this tower fall? Because it didn't make sense, right? Why did this tower fall? Oh, okay. I see. The Star. The Star is a Aquarius card. The Star is about like healing, like hopes and dreams and becoming a star, you know? It's also the opposite of the Leo energy. It's that Leo Aquarius axis. But what I'm getting off of this, the Star and the Ten of Pentacles, this is family, legacy, home. So it's like you thought that you were going to bring some healing to your family line. You wanted to believe that there was some opportunity for a future with a home or a family, or with like fame and recognition and self-expression, like putting your art out there, getting married, buying a house. There was these types of goals that you had. And it was balanced too. It was like head in the clouds, feet in the dirt. You had these wide-ranging goals that kind of wove together. You were trying to put this very diverse set of seemingly paradoxical goals and values together. And through that, because this is so hard to figure out how to manage and manifest, you drew in, you didn't know like what circumstances you needed to make those goals happen together in the same place in the same time. So you decided to attract some real confusing nonsense into your life. Because it didn't make any sense. You were looking for something different that didn't fit the pattern. But the reason it didn't fit the pattern is because they were trying to hide the pattern. There was something about the pattern that they felt would make them not accepted, not loved, not valued. And as you sat in your emotions, grounding, processing, decompressing, doing that wordless digestion thing, you realize, yeah, you have some very diverse, seemingly paradoxical goals, and you do need to look for something that doesn't fit the pattern so you can achieve those. But that situation was being, I forget the word, but it was being taken advantage of. They were capitalizing. They were using your like desperation, desire, confusion, just like your, I don't know how to make this happen, for them to be able to say, I know how to make this happen. And you're like, okay, well, I don't really know any better. Might as well try out your way, right? But because you were in that space, and as you're sitting here in your own energy, that is the tower. That's the tower you're experiencing. They were using that to play you like a puppet. Because they want you to be played like a puppet, because they feel played like a puppet by their subconscious. They feel like they're not making consciously aware choices, and they're being impulsive, and their shadows are driving their behavior, and they're ashamed, they're humiliated, and they want to push that onto somebody else to make themselves feel better. Because for some reason, they feel like making other people feel bad is supposed to make them feel less bad somehow. And this is not their tower. They may or may not have a tower. That's their business. Like, that's really none of your business anymore. But you are sitting here looking at this tower. Looking at the tower to the star and the Ten of Pentacles. Not, this isn't happening. But this thing in the past, this wasn't it. We need to move on. We need to try again. We need to try something else. Right? So in the future, yes, we have Five of Swords, we have competition, we have this strife energy, we have this like jealousy and anger and revenge and like people wanting to stab you in the front. So that's actually a positive. We were talking about that, right? This is better. This is better for people to declare themselves your enemies instead of being the clown, the actor, the narcissist. And some people might call them a narcissist because they're standing up for what they believe in and they're competing with you and they're fighting with you. But that's not what narcissism is. Having beliefs and standing in your beliefs. That's not what it is. It's forcing other people to see things the way that you see them. Otherwise, you are annihilated, you don't exist, what you think doesn't matter. It's like a lack of an ability to self-validate, basically. But you can be capable of self-validation, you can be healthy, you can be in that space, and still kind of come into this Five of Swords energy. You can be competitive, you can fight with people, you can stand up for yourself against people, and these people are going to be your enemies to your face instead of stabbing you in the back. So even though this is a challenging future position card usually, I would say it's way better than whatever this Joker of Hearts nonsense was about. Okay, but it's also clarified underneath the Five of Swords by judgment, the world, and Six of Cups. Judgment, the world, and Six of Cups are here clarifying the Five of Swords. And of course you're going to have competition and people fighting against you, because this is some fun, positive, lovely, awesome, productive energy. Oh my goodness. There's going to be competition. They're going to fight. But I don't like to say this very often, but you're going to win. You're going to have judgment cast upon you. They're going to have judgment cast upon them. And there's going to be a big change in your life, in the world in general, in some dynamic, in the way that you respond to this energy. And as God makes this judgment, as you turn this wheel and step through this portal, you are moving into this future of this very leonine energy. Sweetness, childhood, nostalgia, cups, emotion. My little puppies. I think that this card is like this guy as a little boy with his puppy, and then this is him as an older man with his older man dog. So this is something that's going to like pass the test of time. It's going to last. It may not look like what you expected. It may not be exactly the specific circumstances that you were looking for in this star energy, in this Ten of Pentacles energy, in this healing energy, in this legacy energy. But the truest expression of it will be achieved because you're starting to move. Not based off of what people say, not based off what it looks like, but based off of what it feels like. And that is what is turning this wheel, creating this judgment, bringing in this Six of Cups energy, bringing in this sweetness, bringing in this healing, bringing in this expansive, expressive, healed, leonine energy. And then you're going to move into this healing and this legacy from that space, which is going to make it sustainable. It's going to make it inspiring. It's going to make it wonderful. You are going to cause revelation in people's lives in regard to their stereotypes and their opinion of Leo energy. You know what I mean? Oh, wow. Okay. That was a riddle. Remember we started off with the riddle and then we got the Joker of Hearts. We got the Joker of Hearts, the Queen of Hearts. And we got the Creator, the Temple, the Heart, the Box. That's all the same thing. The box, the heart, the temple, the Creator. The box, the heart, the temple, the Creator, the Christ, the Leo, the child. So, oh my gosh, look. So this is the clarifier for your past. And this is the clarifier for your future. This is kind of an unhealthy, unhelpful, almost toxic feminine energy, like weaponized incompetence. You may have just not believed in your ability to move through that situation, but you know what I mean? You were not in the best place. You were in this lower feminine energy. Like, save me, I don't know what to do, like, I am so hopeless. Like, I'm laughing, but I've been there. And then moving into this healthy, healed, masculine energy that holds space, right? Cups. That holds space. You're moving out of materialism and into your heart, which is the Leo energy. That is the genuine Leo energy, which is where your fire and your energy and your passion and your spark and your inspiration and your motivation comes from. So stop trying to be overly practical and logical and rational and go off of what people say and what it looks like and all that. Learn how to go off what it feels like. Learn to trust yourself. Learn to be self-sufficient emotionally in that kind of sense. And then you're creating this healthy masculine energy in your future that is going to help you heal your heart, or that is going to be the result of you healing your heart. And in doing so, you may be breaking these generational trauma chains and bringing fresh, new potential and sweetness. I don't need to open this door that this key won't unlock, that everybody's telling me I should be able to unlock, and I'm supposed to be going through. I'm not supposed to be going through this door. I'm not supposed to be going through a door at all. I'm not supposed to be on the ground. I'm not supposed to be in the material. I'm supposed to be climbing a stairway, a stairway to heaven, a stairway to the clouds. I'm not going through the door. I'm not getting locked away in there. This key doesn't open this door. No. I'm going up the stairway to heaven. I'm healing my inner child. Bringing that healed inner child back into my day-to-day reality so that I can be a real man. And I can express the highest version of my beautiful leonine soul. We're about at an hour, so I am going to wrap it up here. I'm going to look through the chat just to see if anybody had some particular questions specific to their Leo situation, and make sure that I keep that promise and all. Okay, entity conjuring. Oh yes, the entity that we were conjuring today is the spirit guide of the Leo Collective. Yes. World members. Weirdo. Okay. Yes, I already answered that. A wonk. What the heck? Hello. I don't know what that means. I don't know how you would try to call me yesterday. I didn't get a call anyways. You don't have my number. Yes, every reading is a ritual. I may not be. I'm not a big respecter of English or just words in general. Like, you know, language is a tool. I'm not a great one at that. We have better languages. I am a proponent of light language in all of its forms. What the heck does that even mean? Yes, I am a witch. Welcome to the program. Yes, I know. I did that on purpose. I have read the Quran. Weird. Okay, cool. So that's it for today. Can I pull like an oracle or an animal or a moonology card? Okay. We do have the Aquarius full moon coming up in like just a couple days or something. Maybe not even that long. Spirit, what you got for Leo? What do you have for this Leo collective here today? Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Please and thank you, thank you, thank you. Full moon in Pisces, balance spirituality and practicality. Balance. Spirituality and practicality. Balance. Spirituality and practicality. Or spirituality and practicality. Or spirituality and practicality. Or, here it is. Okay. The foundation was rotten. Remember we were asking earlier, is the foundation of this tree rotten? Was it going to fall fast? Did it take a long time to fall? It did take a long time to fall, but it was rotten. It was being scaffolded by this Joker of Hearts, this Joker of Cups. It was being scaffolded by this Joker of Cups when they weren't fully consciously aware of their actions and their motivations. They're just in a haze. And somehow they managed to get around you, make sure you're not looking, post up all of these boards and nail them in place and keep this tree standing when its roots are rotting, and it never had the potential to do this. Full moon in Pisces, balance spirituality and practicality. Spirituality and practicality. These are your wide-ranging, slightly paradoxical goals. And through trying to achieve this healing and legacy, you realized you had to move in an unconventional way and find something that broke the pattern as an opportunity to make this paradoxical energy manifest in your life. But there was no balance to this Joker of Cups, Five of Pentacles energy. There was no balance. It was an illusion, it was a facade, it was a scaffolding. And so the tower came down. Finally, oh my goodness. And now you have the ability, you have the space, you have the wisdom, you have the expanded and elevated Leo energy. You have this inner child that you've made friends with. And you guys can move forward now that this tower has fallen down and find a new way. You were right. You do need to find an opportunity that breaks the pattern. But the people you were dealing with in the past, they were using your paradoxical nature, your lack of conventionality, as a way to go in and say, look, you don't know how to make this happen. I know how to make this happen. Follow me. Come, like, let's work together. And you're like, oh, thank you so much. I've been trying to figure this out. Awesome. But that put you in a spiral, in a mind F, and it led to a tower. Eventually, inevitably, you had to see the truth. But the truth is, where you just were doesn't make any freaking sense, and thinking about it isn't ever going to help you. It was the actor, the clown, the narcissist. There was somebody in your past that was trying to help you be like, I know you're confused, so let me make things clear for you. But that was all motivated by their desire to feel safe and secure and seen and loved and valuable. But that was driving their behavior from a very shadowy space, and they were moving in a very erratic, unintegrated, ungrounded place, unconscious place even. And so you were having this conscious, word-based conversation about what it looks like, what's happening. And there was no what it feels like. There was no genuineness. There was no authenticity. And Leo is authenticity. So if you're putting yourself around people who are inauthentic, who are actors, who are clowns, and not in the fun way, but in the selfish way, in the bombastic way, in the bravado way, in the look over here, distraction way, in the magician in the negative manipulator way, and they're manipulating based off of like reaction, based off of like self-protection, based off of fear and shame, and they won't even let themselves think those words usually. They just feel it in their body and they're like, this is bad, this is wrong, I have to make my body stop feeling this. And they find a distraction, they find an outlet. And usually that was you. And they were using you to help them distract themselves from the work that they needed to do. So all you had to do was literally step away, sit in your own Queen of Cups energy, just sit there, contemplate, process, whatever. You didn't have to do anything. You just had to step away from the narcissist, the clown, the actor, this person, this joker of cups that was driving you nuts because they were saying, let me help you understand, but they themselves did not understand. They were saying, let me help you, but they themselves did not know how to help themselves, let alone somebody else. And that is what made this tower fall down, was just you stepping to the side. And that's all it ever took, which was why this tower was always rotting from the foundation and the roots. And I think that what happened was probably that you saw them putting up some scaffolding for once, for the first time. And you're like, hey, what you doing? And they're like, nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, but the boards and the nails and the hammer, like, what you doing with that over there? I don't know. And you just got real confused. What the heck is happening? Well, me trying to have a conversation with somebody who constantly puts me in extreme confusion, that's not going to go anywhere. All I have the option to do is take myself into my own space so I can sit and process and breathe and have some peace. And that's all you had to do. You didn't have to admonish them for what they're doing. You didn't have to say, I see what you're doing. All you had to do was literally step to the side. Their facade fell apart. Their ego was bruised. They may have retaliated against you, or if you're so long gone, like against people and things in their lives. They may be kind of like self-destructive. They may be creating towers in their own life, but you don't know. That's none of your business. That's none of your responsibility. If all you had to do was step to the side for this tower to come crashing down and for their lives to fall apart, that's always where they were at. The whole time. The whole time. Shaloo, shaloo, I thought you were leaving. Let's see here. I did say I would check all of the chat before I left. What is happening here? Why do we have all the proselytizing? It's very weird. Okay, I'm gonna start all my streams by saying, hello, this is a divination channel. I am a witch. Welcome, let's do some magic. I'm not a big fan of any of those words, but just to, you know, piss off the people that we want to piss off and get them out of here. Where does the tree fall? Well, that's going to be specific to your situation, so you will know that. Your plant is slowly growing. Indeed, this bamboo is definitely... Bamboo grows really fast if it has the space to, but this roots, it's got a root lock, right? This is not going to knock over like a tower, though. This has got good roots, good health roots, right from the beginning. I am curious about your vase. I got it from Sprouts. I don't know if you guys have those where you're from, but I didn't come into the grocery store to buy a bamboo plant. I was just checking out and I saw the vase and I was like, yeah, I have to have that. It was like a vial. It's very cool. Okay, thank you guys so much for tapping in, tuning in for this Leo Collective reading today. This was a lot of fun, but we are at 66 minutes on the clock, so we're gonna wrap it here. I will see all of y'all very soon for the next one, whatever that is, whenever that is. I'll let you know when I know. And until then, love, light, peace, and personal responsibility. I will see you there.